Thanks for stopping by Little Pig Barbecue. Today we have some country style beef ribs that we're going to do out on the Kamado today. I'm fired up my Kamado Joe. I'm going to put some pecan smoke in it, and these are going to turn out really good. So this is a really simple recipe. You're going to start off with just 2 ingredients. I got a little cup of olive oil here that I'm going to brush on, and then I've got some Sucklebuster's 1836 beef rub. Now you can use any kind of rub you want. Today I'm going for just some traditional beef flavors, some salt, pepper, onion, and garlic. You can make up your own, but this is what I'm using today. So let's get you in here for the prep and throw them out on the smoker. Okay, so here are the country style beef ribs. And even though they say they're ribs, they're not actually ribs. These actually come from the chuck roast. You can find them at Walmart, Kroger. Pretty easy to find around where I live. So the first thing we're going to do is get them seasoned up. These came straight out of the package. All I did was dry them off and with a paper towel and got them laid out here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've got a cup of olive oil that I'm just going to lightly brush on. Now the olive oil is just going to be a binder for the barbecue rub that I'm going to use today, and it will also help with a little bit of the color. So you don't have to go really heavy with this. You're just going to coat a nice even coat on every one of them. So we'll get that done here. Now today the cooker I'm using, like I mentioned before, is the Kamado Joe Classic. It is a Kamado style cooker. It does really well in cold, windy weather. Today it's pretty windy where I'm at, so I'm going to use it today. Also, I'm throwing on some pecan chunks. You can use hickory or oak. Typically I use cherry for like my pork and my chicken. But today I'm going to be using the pecan. I think pecan pairs really well with beef, so these are going to turn out awesome. Now I typically stay away from sweet flavors whenever I'm cooking beef, but today I'm going to use the Sucklebuster's rub, which doesn't have any sweet flavors in it, but I'm going to finish these off with some barbecue sauce, just for a little sweetness. Okay, so these are nice and covered. They look really good. Get that out of the way. And again, I've got some 1836 beef rub by Sucklebuster's. Got a lot of black pepper, got a lot of salt, some onion powder, garlic powder, and it even has a little paprika for the color. So I'm not putting this on really heavy. These aren't very big, so just a nice medium coat. Get all sides. This rub smells amazing. You really pick up the onion and the garlic. But again, you can use anything. I've actually used my own rub before when I'm cooking something like this, and it turns out really good. Nice even coat. Now after I get these seasoned up, I'm going to let them hang out on the counter for about 30 minutes. I've already got the cooker heating up using some Royal Oak lump charcoal. It's going to turn out awesome. Get the last one here. Okay, so it takes care of that. Again, I'm just going to let these hang out for a little bit. Pat the rub in really good. And while these are hanging out, you're going to see some of the moisture start to pull out from the salt. So that should do it. So I'll check back in about 30 minutes after these hang out for a little bit. When I finish getting the cooker ready, bring it up to temp. I'm cooking these at 275 to 300 a day. So as soon as that's ready, we'll get you out there and check out the grill. Stick around. Alright, we're out here at the cooker. It's been going for about 30 minutes now. Take a look at the ribs. This is what the beef country style ribs look like after about 30 minutes. So we're gonna get these on. I've got the temperature holding steady at about 250. I said I was gonna shoot for 275, but I'm just gonna leave it at 250 today. So we'll get these on. Just get them evenly spaced. Just like that. And again, I got some pecan smoke on, just a couple of fist-sized chunks down in there. I'm gonna let this go for about 1.5 to 2 hours. I'm just checking for color after that time, and then what I'm gonna do is get them put in a foil wrap to get them really good and tender. So stick around, we'll check back in a couple hours and see what they look like. Okay, we're back. It's been about 2 hours. It's holding about 260 degrees here, so let's open it up and see what it looks like. Okay, so you can see right off the bat, we've got some good color. Let's get it zoomed in. Ribs have some good color on them. The bark is looking really good. So let's get these pulled off, and we'll put them in a aluminum foil wrap and put them back on and get them good and tender. Now at this point they're not tender, but they are done. So if you wanted to pull them, you could, but I want them to be really tender, so I'm gonna put them back on. So all right, so we're gonna get these moved over to the foil. Now you can fill the foil with a little bit of liquid, or even put a little bit of sauce or anything you really want in it to add some moisture. But today these have enough fat on them, so I'm just going to let them go with nothing in it, and that should be enough to get them good and tender. So alright, let's move it back to the cooker. Put these back on here just like that. And we're going to let it go about another hour and a half maybe. I'll open it up and take a peek at it after about 45 minutes to an hour just to check on them. But that should be plenty. The foil is going to do two things. It's going to protect it from the smoke so it doesn't over smoke. And then it's going to tenderize. So this is all we have left to do here. We're in the home stretch, so we're going to come back in about another hour and a half and check on them. Alright, we're back, so let's get some sauce on these and finish them up. Zoom in so you can see what we're doing. Alright, let's see what they look like. They smell really good. Oh yeah, these are definitely tender. So now all I'm going to do is get some sauce on them. So for the sauce, I'm using some Head Country barbecue sauce with about a teaspoon of butter in it, melted. We're going to cover the ribs up all the way, really good. And you could put them back on the grate. I'm going to leave them in the foil just so I don't have to clean anything up afterwards. flip these over, and we're gonna get both sides. Let's give them a good flip here. And they smell really good anyways. Give the back side a good brush. That should do it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of move the foil over just a little bit so I can close the lid. And I'm going to let this sauce tack up, get good and sticky. Shouldn't take more than 10 or 15 minutes. So I'll actually make a little tray to carry these in the house with when you're done. Just like that. So I'm going to let them go about 10 minutes. Come back out here and check them, and these things will be done. They're ready to take in. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes. Should be finished. So let's get these in the house. Give you a quick look at what they look like after the sauce. You can tell they look really good. They're nice and saucy. The sauce is tacked up nice. They're really tender. Almost like jelly. So we'll get those in the house and cut into one after it rests and see how we did today. Okay, we're back in the house. We got these ribs done. You can see the bark on these things is amazing. The sauce set up really nice. Really looking forward to cutting into these. So I'm going to take my knife here and just move this one out of the way. This is the one I want to try. Man, these things are super juicy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go right down. Well, actually, I'll take the end off. Oh, that slice is really nice, like butter. Get another little slice here. Oh, you see it tearing apart like that? That's when you know it's going to be good. So let me get a bite here real fast. I'll take this one. That's really juicy. You definitely taste that beef rub. And that sauce, the hot and spicy Head Country barbecue sauce, is what makes this perfect. So I don't know if you can see here. Let's try to get a better view of the inside. So I think this cook turned out perfect. I'll get you up top and we'll recap on what we did and see if I would change anything or whatever. But all in all, I think this was a success. So let's get you back up here and see how it turned out. Okay, so this was a really fun cook. Total time was about 3.5 to 4 hours. Just to give a quick recap on what we did. I got the ribs, country style beef ribs, straight from the store, no trimming. Got them seasoned up with some Sucklebuster's beef rub, 1836 beef rub. Brushed them with a little olive oil, then seasoned them. We got the Kamado Joe fired up today, and I held the temperature between 250 and 275. They were on the cooker for about 2 hours before I pulled them off and put them in a wrap. I didn't put anything in the aluminum foil. I just let the fat render down in them, and they got really tender that way. Put them back on the cooker for another hour to hour and a half, and whenever they probed tender, I opened up the foil and brushed them with some Head Country hot and spicy barbecue sauce, which paired perfect with this beef. So if you haven't given that a try it out. It's awesome. I think you'll really like it. This is a really easy recipe to try at home. You can do this in the oven, or you can do it out on the grill. So The dogs are barking. Hope you don't mind. But anyways, I think this is a really easy recipe. I wouldn't change anything about this. Maybe try a different barbecue sauce. That would be really the only thing. But it turned out really good. We'll definitely be doing this again, and I hope you give it a try. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and hang around because there's more videos to come. Thank you.